Hello, everybody, and a happy Monday to you. I'm coming to you with a client lesson from my coaching from last week, and that is around this concept of using being busy as an excuse for not being a present leader. So all of us as leaders, as CEOs, as entrepreneurs growing in fast-growing businesses, we're all busy. And we've all got a million things on our to-do list, and we've got a million things that we'd like to be doing. And as we all know, and as you know, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to sit here and say to you that you get to choose what your priorities are. You get to choose what the priorities are going to be for you as a CEO of your business every day, every week, and every month. So one of the things that's been coming up for two of my clients last week is feeling really busy and feeling too busy to lean in to their team, to, get down in the trenches if that's what their team needed, to be present. So being too busy to be a present leader. And I guess I'm coming on to talk to you about this concept and how this concept of being too busy to be really involved with your team, too busy to be in the details with your team, how it's simply a perception that you have or may have had at some stage in the past and are likely to face at some stage in the future. Now, being a great leader sometimes does require being very present. It sometimes does require being right down in the trenches. You might feel like you're right down in the weeds. And I acknowledge and understand, and I totally get that this may not be somewhere what you want to be. But when you hold responsibility for your team and you hold ultimate responsibility for your business results, for your business outcomes, it also means that you need to sometimes dive down and get deep with your team to work out what's going on and why the team and the people aren't operating in the optimum state that you'd like them to be operating. So if you're sitting there and you're feeling like that, if you've been thinking and you found yourself frustrated with your team, overwhelmed with the amount of information or the questions and the things that they keep coming to you for, if you're feeling like you're really stuck in that middle liaison point, everyone's coming to you and really you want to be over here, maybe, in creation mode, in content creation, delivering to your clients, and you're being pulled back. If that's the way you've been feeling, I want you to ask yourself, have I been present enough with my team? And that is, how much time have I been spending with them? Have our time together, have our meetings together been rushed? Have I allowed them the time that they have needed or wanted to ask questions, to get clarification, to brainstorm? Have I given them space when I've been spending time with them, when I've been having meetings with them? So have I been present enough? Or in the way that I've been present, have I been rushing? Have I allowed there to be space? Have I allowed them to ask the questions they need to get the information that they need to be able to perform their roles to the best that they can? And then if something's going wrong, with curiosity rather than furiosity, so feeling curious rather than furious, how can I lean in and put on my detective hat and solve with them the challenge? Now, typically when something's going wrong, when our team's not operating the way we want them to be, when our team's not performing to their optimal self or the way you'd like them to, there's typically one of three things that's going wrong, one of three things that's broken. And that is there a system missing? Is there a knowledge gap, which means that there's a training requirement? Or is there a lack of willingness by someone for some reason to do something? And that might be somebody trying to, or being asked to operate outside of their zone of genius, doing something that's beyond them, doing something that they'd just rather not do, they're not good at, they're procrastinating over. So it might be a system. So in other words, did somebody not know they needed to do something? Knowledge is about, did somebody not know how to do it to the standard that we wanted them to do it? And willingness, is this just not the right thing for us to be asking that person to be doing? Usually it's one of these three things that is the fundamental reason, or that's, when you work it out, you're getting to the heart of why whatever that thing is, what the thing is that's breaking in the team, and what the thing is that's stopping the team from operating at their optimal performance. And it helps you to then get to the heart of, well, what needs to be changed? What support do they need? And how do I move the team through this? So when something's going wrong, or when the team's just not operating at that optimal performance, although you might be feeling very busy and it's not somewhere you want to be, it is actually the time to lean in and be a more present leader. And if you're sitting there listening to this, or if the big sort of thing that's in your brain, the big like response to that that's coming forward in your brain is, but I don't have enough time, I want you to ask yourself why. I want you to ask yourself why you're deprioritizing sorting your team out, establishing the foundations and the systems within your team to allow everybody to thrive. Why are you deprioritizing that and telling yourself the story that you don't have enough time? Because as a CEO, as a leader in your business, it's your business. You get to choose where you spend your time. You get to choose what your priorities are. And if you're telling yourself the story, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy for this, actually what you're saying is, I don't want to be doing this, and I don't think this is enough of a priority to put my attention to. And ultimately, that's a question you have to ask yourself, why? Why don't you want to lean into setting the foundations up in your team, setting up the systems, setting up what they need to allow them to thrive, to be the people that you actually want them to be? So that's our client lesson for this week, and I'm sure that's been helpful, and I'm sure that that is ringing true for so many of you, because it's a conversation that I have had with so many people over the years, and I really want you to think about that critically today as you set your priorities for the week, as you kick off your week. Where are you allocating your time? Last week, were you too busy to be present? And if so, why are you deprioritizing spending time with your team, leaning in and establishing the foundations that your team needs to thrive? Why are you choosing to deprioritize that? So if you've got any comments, questions, or a particular situation you want to bounce off me, reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Have a happy Monday and an amazing week ahead.